Hi, my name is Janet Moore, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card, and it's going to be hopefully a quick and easy class. We're going to start with a red card base, and your base is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, scored at 4 1/4. And when you score it, you want to use your bone folder, get a nice crisp fold. I have a piece of designer paper from the Country Woods Designer Series paper collection, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I have a piece of basic gray that is 1.5 by 4 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to just take these pieces, and I like to use Tombow glue, and I use it instead of a tape runner because it does give you a couple of seconds. So if you don't get it on straight, you can wiggle it around a little bit. So we're going to put our designer paper down and our cardstock down. And you don't need a lot of glue. This glue is really, really strong. Now we're going to set that aside. I used the Hearts of Elegance stamp and die set, and it's a set of 10 dies. These are the 2 dies that I used. Here's the rest of them. So I die cut 1 heart from this size and 2 of the little ones, and I have them right here. My little heart I took and I used the embossed brick 3D embossing folder. And with this embossing folder, there are areas that you can see brick, and there's areas where you can see like distressed. And I actually want that brick pattern, and I want my bricks to be going up and down, portrait instead of horizontal. So I'm going to start with my Stampin' Up! Side up and put my heart right where I have my lines going up and down. Now when you use a 3D embossing folder on our Stamp Cut Emboss machine, you want to use just your basic platform, and then you want to use plate number 4. And you just put your embossing folder in with your plate number 4 and crank that through. It's not hard to crank at all. You'll think you're not getting an impression, in fact, because it's so easy to crank. And you're going to get a really, really, really nice embossed. I guess I need it down here, right? This is my first video in like several years, so you'll have to be patient with me a little bit. So then what I'm going to do is I want to sponge everything in basic gray, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber and just sponge around the edge of my heart. I've already pre-sponged everything else, so you don't have to sit there and watch me sponge everything. And that is done. So now we're going to take this big heart and we want to put a sentiment on it. And what I did was I stamped the Love You, which is also from the Hearts of Elegance stamp set, and I stamped it in Versamark and embossed it with clear embossing powder. So basically what that does is it gives you a shiny surface, a shiny words instead of words that are jumping out. So my stamp is right here. I didn't put it on the block because I wanted to show you how I line my stamps up. Now on the heart it don't matter so much, but when we do the inside it will. I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to put it down on my grid paper, lining the word up. So I'm lining the word you because it's not cursive. And then I take my block and I line it up with the grid also. And then I know whenever I stamp on a piece of paper, if my block and my paper is lined up, it'll be stamped perfectly straight. So I'm going to ink this up. I teach classes, so sometimes people take green ink and put it in my Versamark. And we're going to stamp that right in our heart. Then I'm going to take my clear embossing powder and I should have used the embossing buddy and I didn't, so we'll see how this goes. Tap off all the excess. And actually, it did really, really good. We didn't get powder where we don't want it. I like to use a clipboard with aluminum foil on it because that will take the heat and put it back onto the back of the paper, so it makes it emboss a little faster and also don't burn your fingers. So we're going to get noisy here a minute. And you just want to heat until it goes from flat to shiny. You don't want to overheat. Now I'm going to set that aside to cool. You want it to cool before you mess with it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take the inside of our card, and I've already sponged around the edges, and I like to have a mat on the inside of my card. So we are going to take, we have a gray mat. Our gray mat is 4 by 5 1/4, and a white mat that's 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to just set my heart temporarily right there so I know where to stamp. I'm going to take my real red ink, close my gray ink, and I have my Happy Valentine's Day right here. So ink that up, and with Stampin' Up ink pads, you just want to tap, tap, tap. You don't want to mush into it because our ink is really, really, really juicy. So I can stamp my Happy Valentine's Day right there. I can glue my little heart down. I always stamp before I glue my paper down. That way, if I do have a little mess up, there's another side to the piece of paper. So now that everything's good, I can glue that to my gray. And this was why you always have a scrap paper underneath. I can glue that to the inside of my card. And this paper went crooked. There. Now I'm going to take this heart and I'm going to just glue it down. This is the one that we embossed. I'm going to take this other heart that's just like the heart we had on the inside, and I'm going to take some dimensionals. And add that up here. And then I have our cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive back sequins. So I'm going to take, and I don't want to use the ones that are grouped together. I'm looking for my take your pick tool. I want to use the ones that are by themselves. And I'm just going to pick those up. And I'm going to do a row right across the bottom. And that's it. That's how easy it is to have a nice, masculine Valentine's Day card. Thank you for stopping by.